Senator Lindsey Graham angrily stormed out of the confirmation hearing of Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Take a look.
I hope they all die in jail if they're going to go back and kill Americans. It won't bother me one bit if 39 of them die in prison. That's a better outcome than letting them go. And if it costs $500 million to keep them in jail, keep them in jail because they're going to go back to the fight. Look at the friggin' Afghan government. It's made up of former detainees at Gitmo. This whole thing by the left about this war ain't working.
Let me also note that Larry Thompson, who served as Deputy Attorney General under President George W. Bush, Oren Kerr.
All right, so now look. I mean, obviously somebody right there needed the fainting couch because getting a little heated for Lindsey, all right? Now, the reason he's bringing up Guantanamo is, and by the way, our prison there, well, is that Jackson, as a public defender, had defended people that were in prison there. Well, that's what you do when you're a public defender. You take on the case of a client and you argue on behalf of the client. That's basically what lawyering does. But now, of course, Republicans are attacking her record, saying that she's helping child predators and she's helping terrorists. Literally, public defender, that's the job of a lawyer. Lindsey Graham knows this. He knows what lawyering is. So this is more ridiculous theater. But now, anyway, Republicans, you can see, they're using this against her. But let me give you the facts about what's going on Guantanamo and why they might need a public defender. You see, 27 of the 39 people still at Guantanamo Bay are actually held as law of war detainees without charge and without trial. Of those 27, 10 of them had been recommended for transfer, meaning they can go, except they can't go. Now, upon release, detainees are typically sent to countries that have agreed to keep them under certain security arrangements, as required by the U.S. So before the releases can happen, the United States has to go to a diplomatic agreement with other governments that are willing to take these prisoners, be it the detainee's home country or somewhere else entirely. That can be problematic, given some have come from Saudi Arabia, others have come from Afghanistan, and all over areas in the Middle East as well. So now, those are 10 of the 27, right? Others at Guantanamo Bay have been charged with war crimes and are awaiting trial. Some of them, unfortunately, are waiting for many, many years. In July of 2021, for example, the Biden administration did release a 19-year detainee. So, you know, this detainee had not been charged with anything, no trial, and turns out, oh, look, he didn't do anything. Other detainees who were released are people like Mansour Adafi, an 18-year-old, or was 18-year-old, who was kidnapped by Afghan warlords and given to the United States, put in Guantanamo Bay, never charged, no trial, spent 20 years essentially being tortured, yes, tortured, prior to his release in 2016. Adafi, when he was in prison, he was actually thought to be one of the most dangerous prisoners. You had lawyers that were advised against working with him, and you had notes written by interrogators that called him the quote-unquote worst of the worst. Well, he must be some terrible person, right? Some horrible, dangerous terrorist mastermind. Oh, yes. In fact, he was such a mastermind that he tried organizing his fellow inmates to lobby for human rights while inside prison. Oh, my God. Oh, God, no. No, we can't have that. No, we can't have that. No, you know what this guy has done since being released? He now lives in Serbia, and he has, in total, written a book, won a Sundance Fellowship, started an award-winning podcast, and is a vocal advocate for human rights across the globe. Does that sound like a dangerous man, a terrorist to you? somebody who's a threat to the United States? No. Well, I mean, I guess that depends on who you ask. If you ask Lindsey Graham and the military and prison industrial complex, well, there's nothing that they hate more than people who decide to fight for the human rights of people who are imprisoned and to fight against war on terror human rights abuses done by the United States. Look, out of the 800 people who passed through Guantanamo Bay, only 8 detainees were ever convicted of doing actual terrorism. Half of those, meaning 4, okay, were overturned. That means there are only 4 convictions for terrorism. That leaves the rest either not charged, not tried, or innocent and ready to go. But they can't leave. They can't leave. They're not allowed to leave. And so the big issue here with Guantanamo Bay is that they're not using the U.S. court system. They're using a special military-only type of justice system that is extrajudicial. And so, look, they're not getting tried, they're not getting charged, and they're just there forever. In fact, 27 out of the 39 are basically called lifers. They're going to be there with the prison until it closes or they die. Lindsey Graham, though, he sees it and says, good, I'd rather they all die. He said that, 39. I'd rather all 39 die. Really? I mean, it doesn't matter if we never charged them for anything or give them a trial. No. Lindsey Graham says they are the others. They're automatically dangerous because I say that they're dangerous. Well, if they're so dangerous, well, why don't you have charges against them? You either charge them or let them go. I mean, you can't have it other way. That's how the law is supposed to work in a nation of laws. But Lindsey Graham and his Republicans, they don't believe in the law. They don't believe in the law. No, Lindsey Graham believes in indefinite detention. He believes in torture. And he believes in this ridiculous, endless war on terror. Lindsey Graham has never met a war he didn't like. So that's who Lindsey Graham is. He's a warmongering piece of crap. Loves torture, loves the terrible things that we do because he sees them as good. He doesn't care about the law. And again, this entire thing is just for him to basically rage at Ketanji Brown Jackson for being Biden's nominee. Because look, Lindsey Graham had wanted J. Michelle Childs because she was incredibly tough on crime and super, super pro-corporate. And so he wanted her. Biden didn't choose her. And so therefore, he's pitching a fit, raging, and showing everyone what a petulant little bitch Lindsey Graham is.